Okay, so today we're going to start looking at different types of other more detailed summary statistics. So we're going to start with IQR. Your IQR is your inner quartile range. Q3 is your upper quartile, and Q1 is your lower quartile. And then we're going to go into more details on how to find your outliers. So something that's way too small is anything that's less than Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. Anything that's way too large is greater than Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the class heights and we're going to find outliers. So if you go ahead and look in Schoology, I have a link for that data. So we're going to go ahead and look at that. I have the data. It'll take me a second to get there. And I've gone ahead and I've cut and pasted that data. And I went ahead and I inputted it. And I began analysis. And I'm looking at that and I'm seeing some potential outliers. And then right here, you can see that it's giving me my Q1 and my Q3. So let's write that down. I have my Q1, which is 64, and my Q3, which is 69. So to find my IQR, I'm just going to go ahead and subtract 69 minus 64, which is 5. So my IQR is 5. So outliers would be anything that is smaller than, less than 64 minus 1.5 times 5. So that value right there, when I go to subtract it, it's going to be any value that is less than 56.5. Or anything greater than, if I go ahead and put that in, 69 plus 1.5 times 5. Okay, so in this case, anything that's greater than 76.5. So now what I need to do is go ahead and look at my original data set. So I have my original data set. I'm just going to shrink this down for a second. I'm going to go back to my class heights, and I kind of need to look. Okay, I see 53 here. I don't see anything else. Or I can actually look at this and see that 53 is less than. It lets you see the integer scores. But knowing, if you don't have Stapplet, you kind of just skim at your data. You can also sort it. 53 is on the low side. 74 was my maximum value, so I don't think I have anything on the high side. So in this particular case, 53 is a potential outlier. So next we're going to talk about 5-number summary, and when we do this, you can have a chance to see how to find your quartiles by hand, just in case you don't know how to do that. So what a 5-number summary is, if they ask for one, it's your minimum, your Q1, your median, your Q3, and your maximum. What your first quartile is, just in case you don't know what it is, it's the median of the lower half, and your third quartile is the median of your upper half. And if you're not familiar with it, a box plot is a graphical display of your 5-number summary. So you would take those 5 values and you would plot it on a number line. So go ahead and flip to the back page, which is blank. And I'm not taking all the class heights, but I wrote down a few of them So I have these numbers here. You can copy these down originally, or from this you can pause the video, because what we're going to need to do is sort these in ascending order. So it looks like I might need to zoom out just a bit so you can do that. So now that you have those in sorted in ascending order, this is what I have. So obviously for my 5-number summary, my minimum and maximum are easy to find, but I need to find the median here. I have 16 numbers, so when there's 16 numbers, the middle would be the 9th number. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My middle would be right here. When there's 2 middle numbers like that, my median is actually going to be 66.5. Okay, so if I was making my little sheet here, I can go ahead, I have my min, my Q1, my median, my Q3, and my max. Now, your calculator does do or answer these questions, but it's important to know how to find these things by hand, because often AP asks questions in such a way that you cannot find the values by hand. So it's important that you understand the concept. So now that the data is divided up, double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Now what I'm going to do is find the median of this lower half and the median of this upper half. The median of this half here is going to be my Q1. The median of this half here would be my Q3. So there's 8 numbers in the lower half, so 1, 2, 3, 4 would be the middle. So in between here, just averaging the two, that middle is going to be 60.5. Just in case you don't know what I did, 60 plus 61 divided by 2 is how I'm getting that value. So that's going to be my Q1. And I'll do the same thing up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that value is going to be 68.5. So I got lucky in this case. Nothing too complicated. And then you would sketch these numbers on a number line to give you your sketch for a box plot. Now, when it comes to describing box plots or describing any data, obviously you're going to use SOCs. So when you're looking at it for your shape, if your median is closer to Q1, then it's skewed to the right. Okay, so pretty much it would look something like this. So let me test my drawing ability. It would look something like this. Like this. So it would have that kind of skew. If your median is closer to Q3, then it's skewed to the left. My drawing isn't very good up here. Let's fix this. So this is actually skewed to the right, so this should be more like this, and this one should be more like this. Okay, so now for your outliers. If there's any outliers, you're going to use the formula. You're going to use Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR, and Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. For your center, you're going to use your median slash mean, but since your box plot shows it, definitely probably go with your median in most cases. And then for your spread, you have lots of choices, but your IQR is really nice. You've got your min, you've got your max. Okay, so now that we've talked about describing the box plot distribution, I want to show you how to set one up because we actually haven't done that yet. So let's go back to what we've done here. We have our graphical display. I actually have a ruler, and this is how you draw your box plot. So what you need to have is your number line. So I'm going to go from probably 50 to 80. So I'll go from 50, and I'll scale 60. Well, actually, let's go 50, 55, 60, 65. Just to give a good scale here. So this could be 60, 65. We'll make this 70 and 75. Okay, let me get that where you can see it. So now we just want to plot our points. So our minimum value, and I actually probably could have started at 55 now that I look at it. So 58 is probably going to be right about here. 60.5, right about here. 66.5. And then 68.5 would be a little bit more here. And then 74 is going to be right about here. So what I've done is plot the points here. So what you do is you box the quartiles. So I'm going to do that first. Box the quartiles. Line through the median. And then you just draw lines to the min and the max. So lines to the min, max. So now based on what we just learned, I'm thinking this is pretty much symmetric because it doesn't look all that skewed. So a couple things you should know, that the length of the box that actually represents the IQR, and the length of the entire plot since it's the max to the min is the range.